What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Lost Records Journal, Player One vs. Was Lost Records Focus Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adnan. My co-host Adam is here. Adam, you here?
I am here both in physical and spiritual, and also the mental and beard.
You're available in every form.
That's what we need. Every form, baby. Whatever form you can think of, I'm there.
Yeah, you are here. And yeah, we're back for this episode. So obviously, it's been a while since we recorded Lost Records Journal. We moved schedules around. It's quite, on reflectiveness, it's quite strange to do two back-to-back episodes of StrangeCast, no pun intended. It felt quite like an unusual experience, but obviously Lost Records Journal is back, and we moved it back because of Gamescom, which is where Lost Record content was, and I'm very happy we saw a lot of stuff because I can also make some new thumbnails, and I don't have to use the lo-fi trailer or the other gameplay trailer to do. I can actually create.
You're not like Square and using the same picture of Sean every time.
Exactly. I can now open my folder up and oh yes, here's a new picture of Swann Holloway I can use for the thumbnails.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I was very happy with that. I was thinking about it, I was like, yes, all these thumbnails we can now create now because we got this one trailer and the gameplay footage. But obviously, as we alluded to, there's a lot to talk about, so we will get into this. But before we start as well, if you are new here, as always, please do drop a subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with friends. Help support the YouTube channel, helps keep up to date with the YouTube channel. And also, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So we're available on Spotify with a video version, we're available on Apple Podcasts, we're available on everything. And we're now at 49 followers on Spotify, so you could be number 50 if you do follow. And we're on 7 5-star ratings. So thank you so much. If you haven't rated us already, please do. It really helps support our visibility.
Thank you, love.
Thank you, love. But also as well, and also as well, this is the bi-weekly sister podcast of StrangeCast. StrangeCast is our Life is Strange, Deck 9, Don't Know, Square Enix Focus podcast, so you can check that out as well. It's available bi-weekly, so go and check it out. Both episodes are available from August, and this will be the final episode of a podcast this month as well, so it should come out on the Wednesday. Adam, a lot to talk about. Yeah, a lot to talk about here because we've actually changed the formatting around on this on this Lost Records Journal episode to a StrangeCast episode because we're basically going to do structures in place of topics because there's a lot of things. So Adam, first thing before we even start as well, give a shout out to the unsung hero of Gamescom. He's obviously deeply admired by the Don't Know Montreal team and everyone else, but Marin, as we've spoken about quite a few times, the senior brand manager at Don't Know Montreal, working heavily on Lost Records, creating all the content, getting this message out. Big shout out. I wanted to give him a shout out here because I think it's easy and quick to forget about all the people that are working behind the scenes. Obviously, we see a lot of people front facing, and he was in the promotional material as well. I've seen a couple of posts here. He was in the front post.
Click on his face. Let's see that pretty face. Let's see. Yeah. Look at that. We got it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
10 out of 10 badge. But yeah, he was at Gamescom. He was working behind the scenes. He was doing great stuff. So we wanted to kind of start off with a shout out to him because, as he said, it's easy to forget about the people behind the scenes doing a great job and has been cutting through the branding on this message. So that's to kick off things, if anything. So a big shout out to Marin. But obviously, let's continue on because we got a lot to talk about. So Adam, I'm going to pull up the press release just to read through. Unfortunately, I couldn't send you a link to this because Games Press is a journalistic thingy source and I had to sign in through it and you can't access it normally. But I'll show you. Yeah, unfortunately, I've still got access to this from my game journalism days as well. So I thought I'd pull up on screen for you guys to use. And obviously, for listeners as well, we'll keep you up to date with all the stuff we see on the video version so you don't feel left out. But I'll read it here as well. Well, you're not going to feel left out because you can see the screen, Adam. Like, come on.
Whoa! I can see the screen.
You can see. So let's kick things off, Adam, with the press release, which is Don't Know is proud to reveal the first gameplay trailer and official release date for Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Don't Know Montreal's eagerly awaited upcoming narrative adventure game will launch on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5 on the 18th of February in 2025 for Tape 1 and 18th of March for Tape 2. The first look gameplay trailer offers a look into the gameplay of Lost Records Bloom and Rage, including the navigation between the two timelines of 1995 and 2022, using Swann's camcorder to film her summer, and of course making dialogue choices in the game. We see the dynamic dialogue system, which promises another level of immersion. It can be changed based on where you look and what you say, and players can choose to ignore and interrupt other characters, which make conversations feel more real and choices more important than ever. And then also in here as well, just to quickly add to this as well, we have We had all the stuff here from Gamescom. I'm not going to run through that because we've already seen it and talked about it. And then also as well, it says here as well, Don't Nod is pleased to announce a partnership with Maximum Entertainment to bring Lost Records Blu-ray to the physical market for PlayStation 5. The release date for the physical version of Lost Records Blu-ray on PS5 will be announced in due course. So we'll close that there. So that was the press release that we got there. Your boy Phil ain't getting this, Adam. I'll tell you that right now, because they prefer good old PlayStation, if anything. But yeah, I think we'll start off here because we'll go into the trailer shortly, because you can give me your reaction, because we can obviously want to hear that. But
yes,
early news as well from the press release. The release date, I believe you had a little bit later. I think it was in February when you said
I think I was
date.
like the third week of February. Yes.
Yeah. And I was on the 14th. I thought it was going to be a Banisher style moment where we drop it on Valentine's Day, but we were very much like smack bang on that thing. And February. You kind of swayed me. Yeah, and you swayed me away from picking January, thankfully, so I'm like quite happy with that. But yeah, February, the first tape, and then also March, 1 month later.
Yeah, tape 2 will be 2 weeks before I move again. I know, that's going to be a stressful day for me, dude. I'll be like finishing up my moving situation, and then but also playing tape 2 of Lost Records. So that'll be fun. And recording this podcast. So I'll be stressed out, dude.
I would honestly delay the move. I'd be like, nah, I'm playing Lost Records. Like, we can stick in another couple of days in North Dakota.
Yeah, it's like sorry, dude, I got to stay in North Dakota, man. Like, I got to play this video game. Sorry, can't do it.
But honestly, dude, imagine as well, because like, think about if they drop like a massive cliffhanger ending. It's like that move that happens. You're like, oh my God, it's like, I don't want to like not like see what's actually happened here. I'm obviously quite excited. I like the fact that they called it Tape 1 and Tape 2. They've added like a little bit of a flavor to it in terms of like giving a distinguished style. But yeah, everything I read in there was quite good. And obviously it's nice to have a PS5 release. I'm hopeful that they do collector's editions, even if it's limited. So do like a limited run of collector's editions, even a vinyl as well. I hope that they do something like that, because those are the kind of things. If it's limited, I'm like buying as many copies as I can possibly can. I'm not flogging them off. I'm just keeping them for myself. It's like
selling them on eBay like you sold your codes.
Well, that was fair game. That's not.
How is that fair?
Because it's codes that I don't want to use. So if I can sell it and make some money off it, great. It's like I'm not like like profiting and like buying loans, selling loans. But it's just like.
But then you buy them back because you like it.
Later date though. That's like when people have like given up on it. If I want it, then I can. Most of the time I didn't. It was like Gears of War at most, if anything. That would do it. But no, generally speaking, everything the press release I read was pretty on point. And as well, it's just like, it's nice to have a release date, and I think it falls quite aptly in that period post Life is Strange's 10-year anniversary for these guys to drop their first game from Montreal. So very, very excited. I don't think also actually because we'll talk about it in the trailer and stuff, but more so here, the dynamic dialogue system that they refer to.
Yes.
So it seems like, if anything, it's like an evolution of what we've seen in Life is Strange 1 and 2. Very much Oxenfree vibes as well. Obviously,
yes, I was about to say you can like interrupt them in Oxenfree. Yeah.
Yeah, nice little recommendation from yourself, but yeah, it's quite nice that they've basically evolved to where I want it to be, because I think like when you recommend me to play it and it's from Night School Studio.
Night School.
I was Midnights for Night School Studio. When you told me that, I understood that it was like a deeper appreciation of what former Telltale developers could do when they actually like move the narrative point forward. I know some people don't like Oxenfree in terms of like the actual speaking parts, but I'm like, I think it's great because like we've joked about the fact that you can go the entire game with Alex and like is Alex the main character?
Alex is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like you can go the entire game and not speak, and you have those like weird kind of interactions with people. They're like, "What?" And it's like, "What? You're not going to say anything?" It's like, I'm all for that. I think it adds to the flavor of Swann as well, being like an introvert, being that kind of quiet character, because I think it makes you feel more immersed in the environment, and I'm all for that. I think they've really nailed that by having the dynamic dialogue system in place. And it shows it as well. I think there's some scenes in the alpha build. I might try and pull it up for you later just to show you what it looks like. But yeah, anything else on the press release?
No, good on them. And yeah.
For sure. Okay, Adam, next topic, if anything, is going to be the trailer, because obviously that dropped on Gamescom's opening night live. I've spoken about this. There's loads of live streams. There's loads of content I've done on it, but we haven't heard from Adam Evalt. Adam Evalt doesn't even use Twitter. He only comes on there to call me out when I'm posting something incorrect. But he hasn't said anything about it. I could tell from his initial reaction when he spoke to me in a private message. I was like, he's buzzed for it. But Adam, what do you think?
I'm just pulling up the trailer once again. I've seen it a few times, but like I want to just refresh my brain as I'm reacting to this. The one thing I really did enjoy about this trailer is that like we get the reveal. I believe it's in this trailer. We get the reveal that you can interact with characters from your camera, which is really a nice touch because like a lot of times, and this was kind of like brought up also in Mitchell versus the Machines, the Mitchells versus the Machines, I believe was the Netflix movie, where there's a whole banter between the daughter and the dad that, hey, this is how I communicate through my camera. Like there's a lot of people who are filmmakers and they can only communicate to other people through a lens. And that's you can call that neurodivergent, whatever. Both Adam and I are experts in that field, but just a little bit. But at the same time, it's like I like that touch of just like Swann can only communicate through her camera lens, and that's just a nice touch as a shy person. I do like how the modern day, I guess we'll call it like Assassin's Creed. The modern day is in first person, so like
theories on that. We'll come on to that later.
Oh yeah, dude. There's gonna be a reveal of Swann later on, but yeah, we don't see the other two. We just see the one character. Adam,
speaking of which, before you continue as well, yes. I find it interesting you say that because I really vibed off that fact that you just mentioned the Assassin's Creed first-person view during the modern timeline, if anything. And I saw some people immediately turn off from that. Like, I hope it's not all first person. It's like, obviously, it's not. The 1995 timeline is third person. It's going to be very much Life is Strange camera fixed behind. But I saw some people immediately dislike that. But I think the first person is great because it makes you feel like you're in there. You're sitting opposite Autumn, if anything. It feels like you're talking to her and you're recalling your story. I think first person is really undervalued in these. Like BioShock, for example, playing as Jack. You never see the character. You never see his actual physical appearance. But he's just a character. He's like a body, a vessel that you kind of become. And I feel like with Swann as well, I was kind of surprised that people were like a little bit turned off. Were you surprised by even me mentioning the fact that some people are a little bit like, I don't know?
No, I'm not surprised by that because it's the internet. Everybody's thrown off by everything. Everybody has a problem with something, and it just drives me insane. It's like when you said that, like, oh, some people hate Oxenfree. I'm just like, why? Because of the dialogue. I'm like, can people like chill out for like 3 seconds? And that's coming from me, dude. Like, do you see me chilling out about anything? No, dude, I'm so opinionated. But there's some things where just like people are gonna have problems with something. You know what I mean? Every time, dude. It's so annoying. Like for a big example, like again, I listen to a lot of podcasts, you know, Wolf's End, Kind of Funny, Defining Duke. I listen to a lot of different gaming podcasts, and the one thing I hear people say about Lost Records Blue and Rage is that like, oh, this seems Life is Strange. Oh, is this Life is Strange? And then like, bang, don't nod. I'm like, I can't believe they're still doing this. As if it's like, yeah, as if it's a trend or like they're murking up same waters. I'm just like, what are you talking about? But yeah, then they're just like on the whole thing, like, oh, nobody cares about Life is Strange. I'm like, have you seen our fan base? There, people do care about Life is Strange. So it's a bit annoying on that front. So I guess to answer your question, people have problems with everything and everybody's stupid. So I don't know. If you work in the service industry, as in like, which is not blue or white collar, it's actually considered pink collar. I work a pink collar job. So that's fun. Being a line cook and I'm pink collar. I'm like, that's cute. That's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you work in the service industry, you understand, or even customer service of any sort, people are just they're daft, as some people might say. But more on the Lost Records trailer. Yeah, it looks great. Graphically speaking, it looks great. It's probably not going to utilize ray tracing though, for sure.
That's what I was going to add to you as well. Like, because obviously I feel like we're a bit spoiled with like Deck 9 with the motion capture. Like, obviously, like, think whatever you will about double exposure, but I think their motion capture team is phenomenal, especially like Web Pickers Guild. And like, even we spoke to Zach Andrews, like, you know, unbelievably talented for what they do with mocap. But it's like, I did think that a little bit with just the Lost Records early impressions, where it felt like a little bit, you know, maybe the animations are like, you know, because obviously it's like from what I can see so far when they've done the early work, it's been motion capture and then I think VO work afterwards. It's very similar to Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2 in terms of what they're doing. I think this is from my own perspective. And then obviously, if it feels like the lip syncing is fine, which is obviously a big issue that happened in the first Life is Strange, not really a big issue in Life is Strange 2, but I don't know, the animations are a little bit like, I was like, that was the only thing I took away from the trailer, thinking, I hope that's just refined a little bit more. Maybe that's alpha footage we see, and maybe it's a little bit earlier footage, but I'm hoping...
Oh, it's definitely not alpha. That's definitely not alpha footage that we saw. Alpha footage, you would know it's alpha footage.
Yeah, that's true.
There's that pre-alpha, then there's alpha, and you're just like, oh my god, like it's like that leak from Insomniac from the Wolverine game. Like that was alpha, dude. They're like, oh, this game looks horrible. I'm like, that's because it's alpha. That's why. Or even like anytime Skate comes out, like they have those trailers and it's just like, man, this looks like really rigid, and like that's because it's alpha, dude. Like this, if anything. By the way, yes, I am holding a fingerboard. If anything, this is beta. Like I don't think it's beta. It could be like Seda. I don't know, but Charlie. It could be Charlie footage, but no. Like if anything, it's beta. This is definitely not.
So the trailer is captured on PC. If anything, so it's captured on PC with Unreal 5. The hands-on preview, which we'll come on to later, that's pre-alpha build. So that's what they've like even mentioned at the bottom corner. It says pre-alpha build, but it's different though. You can see with the animations. Yeah, it's in the bottom corner of like the thing.
Yeah, that's amazing for pre-alpha. That's pre-alpha.
It's alpha or pre-alpha. I can't see if I'm trying to pull it up here. Actually, I try not to hit the music either with it from it.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
I'm pulling up here. So this is one of the footage I've got. It says in the corner alpha version.
Wow, dude. Okay.
Yeah, so this is one of the gameplay preview.
This is alpha. Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay footage.
Yeah.
This is alpha? Holy hell, dude. This is the best looking alpha I've ever seen.
Because you said it to me in the messages. Do you remember you said it to me in the messages when we spoke about it briefly? You're like, it can't look this good when it comes out. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like,
oh no, I was talking about that with Life is Strange.
Oh, sorry, there's a double exposure. Yeah, apologies. Yeah.
Yeah. This is alpha footage, dude. Yep. Holy hell, dude. It's gonna look amazing. Wow.
They nailed it on that.
No, if you see there's some pre-alphas out there and alphas. Like there's some people who are just like, oh, this game looks garbage. I'm like, you don't understand game development, dude. Like, you don't understand it then. Like, you have to, which is why, like, if anybody were to hear, another big thing. So if you buy like a deluxe CD, I was about to talk about music, but like people have heard this before. If you buy a deluxe CD and you see like there's bonus tracks and then there's like a certain track demo version, and the demo version just sounds like grainy or it sounds echoey, like it's recorded in a tin can. I'm like, yeah, because it's the demo version. This is the version that you're just like, hey, this is what am I thinking? And then it takes like months to get it correct to the version that you want it to be. And they're like, man, why does music sound like garbage? I'm like, because it's the demo version. So you don't understand the creative process. You don't understand game development. You don't understand how life works in general. How do you breathe in the morning? Get wrecked, go to sleep. That's all the people who are just like, oh man, this game looks garbage. I'm like, because you don't understand. That's
why I was surprised when you didn't know it was alpha. But alpha is like, yeah.
No, that looks like great alpha footage, dude. I'm pretty sure the Skate videos that we've also seen is technically alpha. I'm not sure if they qualify it for pre-alpha or alpha. But pre-alpha, pre-alpha is just like that looks really good for alpha. That might be a late alpha stage before it hits beta.
Well, it's like you said though. It's likely this game was going to come out in October though, before Double Exposure was announced. All the signs seem to point to be like we're coming out in October. And we'd have November Tape 2 part release. So it's like they're quite far in development. It's like the only reason this game has been delayed, as we know, is because of Double Exposure. They were outright with that because everything else seemed on track. There was no kind of like inkling to suggest Lost Records Bloom Rage was going to miss any release date or anything along those lines. So for me, I was kind of like, when I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. It looks incredible. Like I'm not even saying it from a biased perspective. I'm just saying it from I'm like, wow, this looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'd never had any doubt from what I've seen from from the offset, even prior when we were like talking about just the studio being in existence. It just seemed like all green flags for me, and this is another green flag, and a great green flag as well on top of that. But yeah, it was a vibey trailer. Anything else?
Continue, no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great trailer. Like, I thought, like, everything was shown in that. Gameplay wise as well, 1 minute, that's all I wanted. People like 10, 15 minutes we might see. I'm like, no, I just need to see like a minute. Keep the mystique, keep the intrigue, keep me excited, man. You tell me about the plot before this game, I'm gonna be so upset about it. I want to know like nothing about it. I don't want to know like anywhere near like doing like deep exposition of these characters. Everything about it is just like steeped in mystique, and it's very much similar to Life is Strange 1 in terms of like that kind of like just keeping the mystique alive before you play the game. But with that as well, Adam, actually, I wanted to point this out because I don't know if you caught this, but it's a nice little reference. And obviously, again, you should follow us on Twitter as well and all social media pages.
I swear, dude. Of course, dude. I'm like one of the biggest Jurassic Park fans alive. Of course, I caught this reference.
Very cool reference. This was Michel Coe, the creative director, the game director on the game, who confirmed this. It was like a nice little nod to Jurassic Park. Even so, as well, in this image as well, I'm going to zoom this in. She even does the Alan smile. Yeah, it's like so on point. I was like, that is such a cool little reference. Obviously, Swann has like a T-Rex t-shirt, like a dinosaur t-shirt. And I was like, it's so cool that. So I wanted to point that out as well. And as I said, you should follow us on social media because you'll keep up to date with all these little reference points. Generally speaking, yeah, the trailer looked cool, the mystique looked cool. I'm obviously some of these other things will bleed into some of our other topics as well.
So I didn't also say about the press release and all that. How happy are you that you are a PS5 user?
I love it.
So I was like, if anybody wants to send me a PS5, that'd be great. Because the physical
you just need to leave it, bro. You need to leave your allegiance, man. Like, look what you went through. Hell, you even went through hell for the remastered collection. You're like, dude, I got this book, and I'm sitting here like, I don't see this, Adam. It's like, I'm like, bro, just Philly boy has failed you. He's failed you completely.
Well, no, on the remaster, no, there were some things that you saw that I didn't see.
But nowhere near as bad as you.
There's some console exclusive bugs. Like, you can only get this bug on PS5. Oh.
Yeah, you can't get. That's a nice little touch from Square, if anything. But no, yeah, I'm very happy because because even Jusant, for example, is coming to PS5 in the limited release. It's like you guys don't get that either. So it's like Donut obviously loves a bit of PlayStation there, if anything. They should definitely do. I'd hope so in like maybe the future if they have like a bigger in terms of financial power and stuff to do brand exclusive deals with PlayStation. It could work out for them as well in terms of certain.
Yeah, because like, it seems like PlayStation's the only one that's like caring about games. But like Xbox is just like, why would you want to do business with them at this point? They're just like floundering. The fact that you let go of an IP like Hi-Fi Rush, and then Krafton gets it. It's like, how does it happen, Xbox? But thank God we have Crash Bandicoot on Game Pass. So I'm so thankful for that. You get your little physical edition of Lost Records, but me, I got the Crash Bandicoot. So I'm so.
Don't you worry. You can enjoy that. I'll enjoy my physical release of Lost Records, but you can enjoy Crash Bandicoot with an increased price.
But do you get Call of Duty on day one? I bet you're. I know you're super jealous of that.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with having my PS5 version. Then, as you'll see, Games Pass increase next year incrementally again. It's going to happen to you.
Yeah, no, I decreased my game. I decreased from Game Pass Ultimate to just Game Pass with console because I'm like, dude, I'm not paying $20 for Game Pass Ultimate. Get the hell out of here. No,
I feel you. So, all excited for what we're at with Lost Records. If anything, that trailer looked pretty spiffy. If anything, and I'm happy with that. Spiffy. Should we move to the next topic quickly?
Yes, definitely.
Trailers. So I'm going to quickly go to here. So let me just pull this up for you guys. And again, for the audio listeners, we're going to tell you what it is. Here it is. So little thing that we spotted from the trailer, we kind of alluded to it before about the adult first-person view, if anything. Very brief glimpse of Swann Holloway here.
Yes.
Just her outfit, Adam. Like, she's very brief. I think there's another graphic that I've done with the images and stuff, but a very brief look of her arm and outfit. And during the reveal and stuff, Mr. Luke Bagados, the studio executive producer, Don't Know Montreal, executive producer on this game, posted our little detective emoji.
Yes. And then you replied to him with, what was it? Another penguin.
And even, do you know what was better as well? He got this reply during the live stream that I did. So during the live stream, he got the penguin reply. So yeah, we got a detective emoji here from Luke Bagados, which I think, Adam, always suggests that it's, you know, this is something more, if anything.
Okay.
I don't think, for example, I'm going to remove that. I don't think, for example, Swann being hidden is just an accident. I think it's very much intentional, because I'm thinking we're not going to see it for a while, potentially even maybe until the end of the game.
No, yeah.
Because it feels like, because I had a theory that I think my theory at this point, if anything, Adam, is that Swann is believed to be about 42, 43 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
From Michelle said that he's obviously the time jump gets older. However, I don't think her face is 42, 43 years old. I think she looks like an old woman. Because if you think about that trailer, do you remember that trailer when you listen to it? Why is Swann's voice so deep?
It was pretty deep, yeah.
But it's deeper, though. It's like, do you like sound effects level? It sounds even deeper, because it's like Autumn sounds naturally quite deep as it is. But that one, she's like monstrously deep. I'm like, hang on a minute. The only people I could see having
monstrously deep?
Olivia Laporte, I love you. Please don't take that as
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I'm like, what I'm talking about in terms of the sound mixing, they've obviously made her quite like deep in terms of voice, which makes me think that my early theory is on the intention of that she's been aged like rapidly in her face. Like, she doesn't look young anymore. It might be something to do with what they find, something that happens in 1995. The signs are there for me.
I'm listening to the trailer right now.
He's listening to this. He's gonna know it as well. When he listens to it again, I did like a compilation of it as well on our Twitter page. You can listen to it. He's hearing it.
I wouldn't say monstrously deep. That seems like a stretch. I would say deeper than usual, though.
But when she talks, though, it's like not in terms of what I expect from a 40-year-old person. It's more about like, it seems more deeper as if someone's like aged quite a lot, and it's like something has happened to them.
Sure.
That's my theory, if anything. I think that she's the age that this suggests, but I think in her face something has happened where it's like she might look a lot older. She might have like aged like 70, 60, something like that, where it's like it's some effect that's happened from this meteor or whatever they found in the hole, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. That's a theory. I'm pretty sure that Luke just egged you on with the whole detective thing, because like every time you get into detective mode, you're just like, that's a lemon. That right there is a bottle of mayonnaise. There is, yes.
I didn't actually say anything beyond that though in the tweet. I only said that it's a very small detail of her appearance. And for him to
know, and then like Luke is like saying like, "Go on, say more, say more."
But he maybe appreciates my observation skills, because it was the first thing I picked up on the trailer. I was like, hang on a minute, why are we only seeing Swann in adult form, but as just her outfit briefly?
Yes. Say more. What about the ginger ale coaster? Does the ginger ale coaster do anything for you?
Branded sponsor.
Brandon's Crossroads Ginger Ale.
She's got a Stanley Cup. She's gonna put it out there.
Yeah, on top of that. Like, can I get my ginger ale in this Stanley mug, please?
Oh, Adam, do you know what as well? Actually, I forgot to mention this to you. I went for a run a couple of days ago. Yeah. Someone was holding a Stanley Cup when she was running. I was like, looking, I was like,
while she was running?
Yeah. Well, she had her outfit on. Like, she had like a running outfit and stuff on. And I was like, and she had like the Stanley Cup in my hand. And all I could think, I was like, I don't know why he's done it to me now. It's like, just like, like, why is it?
Everybody got that Stanley, dude.
It's like, it's just annoying. I'm like, it's because of him. It's like he's caused this, like, in my mind, where it's like made me feel like a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But
yeah, before it was the Hydro Flask, but now it's the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup, yeah. Stanley Cups become the trend of it. But do you have like any theories of like why they're hiding her, or like we haven't seen her appearance, if anything? Because like, I think it's obviously deeply intentional. And like, if you'd shown Autumn, for example, why wouldn't you just show Swann?
It's narrative purposes. It's always narrative purposes. Like, why? Like, I think we will see her reveal. Kind of like in spoiler alerts for Until Dawn. Which by the way, today, as we're recording this, 9 years to the day that Until Dawn was released. So
they're remaking it.
What's that?
And they're remaking it and recharging at a very high premium, which I don't agree with because it's not going to sell anywhere near as much.
It doesn't look remade either. It doesn't look that impressive. It was already like good in of itself. It's aged well for 9 years, you know?
We're cashing in nostalgia from 9 years ago, which is crazy. But continue, please.
Yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, so Until Dawn, because when you're talking to Peter Stormare, his character, you don't see yourself, and there's a whole reason why you're not seeing your character, because if you saw your character, it gives away something narratively within the story. So always with something like this, and they might have gotten some inspiration from Until Dawn in this kind of trailer. So there's always a narrative reason why you don't see the main character's face, whether it be like a facial restructure, or maybe she stayed young, maybe she just stayed young. I don't know.
That's interesting.
But yeah, there's always a narrative purpose, especially for a third person narrative game. There's a narrative reason. I don't think she's 80, Adnan. I don't think she's 80. I think there's a scar on her face that we shouldn't see until like the right moment, you know.
A scar?
Yeah, kind of like Lion King.
Joker.
Yeah, like she has Autumn's hand when they're dropping into the hole, like, "Sister, save me," and then she says, "Long live the queen," and then just drops Autumn into the hole.
You've been watching too much Lion King. That's what you've been watching.
Bro, I saw a trailer for the stupid Mufasa movie. What the hell's up with that, dude? Oh my god!
That's what's up with that.
Yeah, dude. I went to go see Romulus, and like they showed.
Oh, have you seen that?
Yeah, dude. Oh.
You liked it? I thought it was terrible.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible.
What would you give it out? Like, wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm genuinely being serious. I love Alien as well. I thought it was horrendous.
It was like, dude. Okay. You're joking. What?
Nope.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Did you like Alien Covenant?
No, not really.
Okay, I was about to say, if you're like, oh, but yeah, Alien Covenant was great, but Romulus was bad. I'm like, you're backwards. Then did you see the right movie?
No. Alien Covenant is like basically executives telling Ridley Scott, you need to make Alien now properly. Yeah. And it's like, because Prometheus I think visually it's quite stunning.
Well, yeah, Prometheus is untouchable. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's brilliant. And I think that if they would let him do his original vision, just can
you at least put Romulus in your top 4 or 5 in Alien franchise? It's not at the bottom, is it?
No,
come on, it's better than Covenant. It's better than Covenant. It's better than Covenant. Get the out of here. I'm sorry I cursed here, but your punishment is you have to censor me now.
I don't know about it being better than Covenant.
It's so much better than Covenant. Are you insane?
I don't know if it's better. I think
Are you insane?
And possibly 3. I don't mind 3 if anything.
What?
I didn't like Romulus at all. I thought it was very poor.
You thought it was worse than Alien 3?
I don't know. Worse isn't. I don't.
No.
It's
better than Resurrection. Please tell me it's better than Resurrection.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, Resurrection is like a very stupid idea. I just don't. I don't think.
You said Romulus was worse than Resurrection.
This is completely gone off tangent here. You enjoy this alien conversation. I think the structure of the film of Romulus isn't good because the first act is very slow. After 20 minutes, I was like, I'm close to turning this off because it's very poor in terms of the characters.
Turning it off? Where did you watch it?
In the cinema, I watched it. I was very close to walking out of the cinema. I was very close to walking out the cinema. So I watched it, and I was like, the first act is very poor. I was like, this is not good. It picks up, and I'm like, okay, this is not too bad, and it's okay. But then the third act is just a repeat of almost Alien, and then it's also does the most stupid thing for me, which is like almost Jurassic World. When you have a dinosaur, it's already scary. Why the hell are you making something scarier when it's a xenomorph? Does it need to be scarier? Are you serious? Why would you do that?
Because so let's get this straight. Alien Aliens is untouchable. Like it's
Of course,
Romulus.
untouchable.
Romulus is under them. Like let's get that straight. But let's put another thing straight. It combines the two because it sets place in between the two. We have the research center. We have the experimentations. It's almost okay. If Romulus was a novelization of a canon event that happened between Alien and Aliens, it would have been fine. But because people are putting it in the same realm as Alien Aliens, it's bad. But because the two are like all three, if you think of it as like almost like almost like Rogue One, right? If Romulus is Rogue One, it makes sense of why Alien and Aliens happens, because we get the setup for the research center, we get the setup for the mining towns, why they have to put it into the mining towns, like it sets up for the company. You know, there's a lot of things that it kind of like connects the two movies together, because there is a 57-year difference, and Romulus takes place 20 years after Alien. There's a lot of things that it just like interconnects, but it is not worse than Covenant. You can get the hell out of here with that nonsense.
I'll put timestamps for guys so you can jump between the alien conversations. But I don't dispute what you're saying about the story and the idea where it's like linking things. That's fine. It's the execution. I don't think the story is told as well.
Okay.
I think the AI cameo, I don't agree with. I think that's awful. The CGI is horrendous.
Well, yeah. But like it also explains though, because like that same AI character is within that 20-year difference, right? It's still the same model as Alien. So the fact that
I'm not doubting that it needs to be in the story, for example.
Yes.
It's just the CG is
like, well, the CG is awful, but like canonically, it would be correct that he would be the same model as Alien. So they have to get that actor back in some way. So it is canonically correct. Now, my final question before we get out of this segment, right? Top 4 Alien movies from you then. Well, okay.
Alien.
Man, because like Alien. Okay, so what are your top 2?
Alien.
Alien is number 1 and Aliens is number 2?
Yeah, Ridley Scott's first, then Cameron. That's interchangeable as well. I'll be very fair.
Yeah, it depends on the day for those two. So like top 2 are kind of like spoken for. So I would say you're 3 after Prometheus. Aliens. Okay, Prometheus is number 3. Where's 4 and 5?
If I was doing it in an order, it'd be Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, Alien 3, Covenant, Romulus, Resurrection. That would be the list. I don't connect with any of those characters. Those characters were awful. They were really poor in that story.
As long as it's above Resurrection, we can be friends.
Yeah, no, it's not the worst. It's not. Let me rephrase that because when I react.
And then Alien versus Predator is in your bottoms. Like those are.
Yeah, I always say to people,
both of them.
If you can explain me the plot of Alien versus Predator Requiem, I'll pay you for that. I've never watched that film in full. I don't know what the hell is happening in that story. I actually like Alien versus Predator, if anything, because that's very much Freddy versus Jason style, like, you know, goofiness, which I don't mind, if anything. But Romulus is near the bottom, or is above Resurrection. I don't like Resurrection at all.
Yeah, but it's above Resurrection, at least.
Yeah, the visuals look good, obviously. I'm not going to complain that. Barring the CGI stuff, whatever, that's fine. The actual, like, story is okay in terms of what you're trying to do, where you're wedging something, that's fine. It's the execution. It's the first act and the third act that make no sense in terms of the pacing. It's slow, it's fast, it starts repeating things. The evolution of the xenomorph makes, I hate stuff like that, because it's like, it's already scary as it is. It's like, you're not using something. It's like when Jason went to space and he started getting the outfit on. It's like, what's the point? He's Jason Voorhees. He's already scary. You need to, you know, use his attributes, which make him scary. Even the gore a bit, I'm a bit like, I don't really know if I like that kind of style in terms. I guess
that's like modern horror now. Like I had a problem with that too. I was just like, okay, like I feel like because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, which I'm fair with that as well. So it's like if it's a directional style, it's fine. But I think that the xenomorph has more effective methods of being scary in terms of
but without going into too much spoilers, I feel like we're like really on the edge right here. But
for sure. But it's like, do you want Alien, the game that they did Sega's? That's when it's scary. Do you want it stalking you? It's moving around. It doesn't have to rely on
isolation. Yeah,
Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
That's like when it's scary for me. That's when I think the Alien has done really well. It's like it's scary, it's moving around, it's tormenting you, stalking you.
Yeah.
Even if it grabs you, it kills you, but it does it in a non-effective, like it has to be really stupidly gory.
Yeah.
So there was just like a lot of flaws with that film, if anything. But yeah, I think we should jump back to the Lost Records Journal as well. I think we'll continue talking about this afterwards. But yeah, I got like a lot of bones to pick with that. I think it's a good idea, just flawed execution, where I think that things could have been a lot more better.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the bonus episode.
Yeah, sure. Right, let's jump back onto the Lost Record. But as I said again, guys, I'll put timestamps in so you can dodge that as well. And it's only got very minor spoilers, if anything. It's very much a reactionary moment, if anything. Adam, the other part of the episode, if anything, was this as well, which is obviously towards the end. We've kind of just been talking about with Swann, with her box, and we're talking about the age and stuff and growing. I'm going to Lost Records Reddit page, which is like a Lost Records fan Reddit page. People are starting to speculate about the box. They've used the box quite a lot in the promotional materials. Some of the videos don't know, they've been messing around with it, just a little bit of teasing videos. People are starting to examine the box. So this is a post from Cat Girl. Cat K1 Girl. I'm gonna call her. Let's use it that way. So it says here, the Lost Records Twitter posted an extended clip of the box being examined. I screenshotted and zoomed in on some of the articles and saw these newspapers are from August and September of 1995. The one article had a photo of the forest, but the title is invisible, looks related to what they saw in the woods. The September 22nd, 1995, search for missing local resumes. It all seems to add that someone goes missing, and I believe it could be Cat. So I'm going to run you through some of these little clips here as well, Adam. As you can see, clip, it's like suggesting it, which I think, if anything, I'm going to end the screen share as well for you here as well. So I'm going to come back to it. We had like a lot of theories before about this, because I said to you, even in one of the early episodes, like, do all four characters make it to the end, for example? Like, will Velvet Cove get destroyed, and those kind of like conversations. Do you believe in this theory that one of the girls goes missing or something happens? Because even in the specifically in the synopsis, they said that the four girls reunite after 27 years, which suggests me that doesn't mean that they might not reunite. For example, in the diner, for example, it might not be like any of them turn up, barring Swann and Autumn potentially. But we just say that they reunite after 27 years, and the main part of the game is set in the 1995 timeline. So we're not going to go as adults looking for whoever the character is. I think it would be a bit strange for that. Do you buy into the idea that one of those characters might go missing in this theory as well? So it could potentially be Swann. Not Swann. It could be potentially Nora, and Cat seem to be the most likely, because obviously Autumn is at the table at the minute. Yeah.
I think that is a good like narrative to spin it. Like Autumn calls them all together because one of them has gone missing. I think that's a good theory, because like you can't really go off of like it like and saying like, oh, it's back, that would be just too much on the nose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do appreciate this theory. Whether or not I agree that's the plot of the story, like I'm on the fence with that. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad theory. I don't think here's my thoughts on this. Go. I think if that was the plot, I wouldn't be disappointed. But I also don't think that's I was about to say that's not really Michelle's style, but it is. It very much is his style.
Rachel Amber.
With Rachel Amber, with Life is Strange 2, Daniel goes missing at one point. Spoilers if you're on this Life is Strange podcast, Life is Strange 2, Daniel goes missing. That very much goes into Michelle's style of missing person. So it could very well be like that's the plot.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with it, because it just seemed like one of them does go missing. So it'd almost be like it as well, where characters starts disappearing. It's almost like that.
Yes.
We talked about It Chapter 2, It as well, like people go missing, then they start looking for people. It almost screams It Chapter 2 when they go and find someone, where they all reunite and have to go and like find someone. Spoiler for that as well. You're walking into territory here with that. I'm not flagging for spoilers, but it's like, it's kind of like heading towards that territory where one of them disappears. I just don't know if it's one of the girls that goes missing, or if it's someone else that's connected to the story. There might be someone else who emerges, and that they might.
We don't know if anybody has siblings.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Or even so as well, people think it's Kat. I think it might even be Nora. So again, if you go back to like the gameplay, the early trailer from the Game Awards, Nora's the one that looks in the hole, and she's the only one that looks away from the rest and isn't affected. So potentially it might even be something to do with her, because she's not affected. They might have some kind of like control over her, whether it's aliens or whether it's something else, like it's a comet or something. Maybe that has some grasp over her, or maybe Kat is susceptible and Kat is the one that gets dragged away in some kind of way, shape, or form. I'm intrigued with that, but like in itself as well, what do you think is in the box as well? Because my kind of theory at the minute is it's Swann's camcorder, which will be the reference point of that. Because obviously in itself, the box reminds me of I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes straight away, where it's like them reuniting and it's like, oh, we know what you did there. It's like,
yeah, there's definitely going to be tapes. There's definitely going to be VHS tapes in the box. Like that's 100%. Like, put money on the table. There's going to be at least a VHS tape in that, because Swann with the whole like, oh, if you see me, I might be dead, and like the whole promotion of this game is the VHS tape. So there's going to be at least one VHS tape in there. I think there might be like messages, like it will be like a time capsule, right? Of basically just like letters from the girls and just saying like, oh, this is what I'll do in the future, or like, oh, this is what we saw. Like I think there's just like going to be evidence of the past within that box.
Yeah.
Because it says remember 1995 on it, like remember, like there's going to be things that like remember this time,
Yeah.
So evidence and VHS tapes, and maybe, just maybe, some lollipops in it.
Maybe some lollipops. Do you know what I like with the box as well? It shows it the alpha build, where it's like, I think there's like a zoom in shot where it like leads to a kick of a bottle or something. So there's something like a quick cut that happens in the actual extended gameplay trailer that we saw. And it's like almost like the box kind of reminds me a bit of The Walking Dead 400 Days, if you play that from Telltale. When you go up to the billboard and you start pulling things off, like little stories, you can pick whichever one you want in whatever order. That was like a DLC piece that came after The Walking Dead season 1. It was like a small little episode. There's a character you play, and you basically pull off little things of like each person's stories, individual stories. I'd like that, for example, to be the box where it's like you observe certain points and it loads you into that point of the game, and that's kind of like your main menu / like loading screen. If anything, that would be quite a nice little feature. But I think there's something is in the box. I thought it was maybe a fragment of something was in the hole that they found. Maybe it's potentially like a fragment of that. It could also be Swann's camcorder, obviously, because then it has all the recordings on there and has everything that's happening there. And obviously when you said remember 1995, it's obviously alluding to the fact that everything's been as played out is recorded here. But yeah, I'm still on the fence. Maybe I'll come back onto like, who actually goes missing, who doesn't like think. I'm still a little bit not sure about them, because I think that they're all going to turn up in some way, shape, or form. It'd be nice if, for example, after the first part, one of the characters turns up in the dino with you, depending on how relationships have formed. That'd be quite a nice little dynamics, just not you and Autumn for the entire thing. But yeah, I'm still very intrigued with that. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll definitely talk about it a bit more. Adam, the alpha build as well.
Alpha.
I've kind of talked to you about this as well. And
did you know that I'm an alpha?
You are an alpha.
I am an alpha.
Yeah, you're more alpha than Romulus, I'll say that, tell you now. But anyway, I'm going to pull these up as well, because these are little two snippets that we saw, nice little interactions on Twitter here. So early on in the alpha build, if you haven't watched it, it is available. It's on, people have previewed this, they've gone hands-on with Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Swann has a cat, Pumpkin. You're not getting charged for this, Adam, either. $30 extra, just for a bit of shade there, if anything. You are not getting paid. I think Swann has this character, you can film it, the cat Pumpkin. It is named Pumpkin in there. However, Adam, there he is. Yeah. The game director, Michel Coe, lovely human being, responded saying, I cannot say much, but there is more to that.
There is pumpkin paid DLC.
Maybe different colors.
Yes, different outfits you can put on Pumpkin.
Potentially. No,
you can put a little hat on Pumpkin.
They're giving you everything. They're going to give you everything. You know it. What they're going to do. I think potentially, just based on that interaction, for quickly, it might be that Pumpkin is your own choice of the character. You can call your cat whatever you want. I think potentially. I don't think it's definitive. That's why I said it's more than meets the eye of that. I think that maybe you can probably choose the color of the cat and then the name as well, and then that cat is part of your story because obviously you're
kind of like Ghost of Tsushima.
There you go. Yeah. I think personally, I think that's what he's hinting at. I don't think it's binary that everyone's cat is called Pumpkin, for example. I think they've done that just for the sake of their trailer, and it's like I think you might be able to pick your own color, pick your own cat. So quite a nice little feature, and obviously you can film the cat as well. It has that entire like recording mechanic where you record certain parts of it. So that's that part. And let me just pull up another one, Adam, as well. Here's a little screen share as well for you guys. And we'll keep you up to date here with things. So we're going to go here.
Yeah.
This was Michelle. So we actually tweeted Swann's outfits, both bottom parts. You can customize Swann's outfit. This is part of the alpha build. It's very early on. You're in Swann's room and you get to choose your own costumes, a lot of designs here. There's the dinosaur outfit I referred to before, Adam. Michelle said, we hope you'll like the different outfits Juliet and her team made for the game, which we do as well. This is Juliet, who is Don't Know Montreal's lead character artist. Come on, Juliet, please follow us. Come on. Look at that. Michelle follows you. I live for that day. Come on, Juliet. We need to follow you here on this page. Juliet responded saying, thank you. Had a blast crafting Swann's outfits, and to give credit where it's due, Ricardo Madariga? I'm going to say
Ricardo. I'm not going to attempt that.
Madariaga. It's on the screen for you guys as well if you are watching the video version. Ricardo, who's a talented character artist, worked on all the different textures and they look fire. It's impossible to pick one over the other outfits, which, Adam, again, I'm all for as well. You can customize Swann as well. It's no DLC incentive. It's basically free in the game. Remember those days when you could customize things for free and it was in variation outfit packs and stuff. So basically, in itself, and kind of give you a breakdown, we get a couple of scenes in the actual build, if anything, where it's Swann's room, and we have a little explanation around there. Then you go to Nora's garage, where you meet the other characters, and they're in the they're doing some of the band stuff as well, and you kind of have some of the experience from the dialogue options. You have the option where they start going filming the music video, and they're looking around in certain parts of the area. Again, like little interactions. You have, for example, Kat do her Jurassic Park reference. And then it kind of ends towards where they're in a little room downstairs and it shows you the footage you've recorded on the TV. So it's showing you like snippets of like the customized videos you're making. Something goes wrong, lights affect it, it goes crazy. Swann's camera hits a different play function and it plays a video which she recorded and they all look quite mortified. It looked sick. I was like, this is definitely so dope. Just like watching, I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I'm sold from what they showed from that. But as you said, it looks impressive. Everything I've seen so far, it's just an evolution of Life is Strange. It might sound lazy as a kind of comparison, but they are the creators of like Life is Strange.
Yeah, it's not like lazy to say that. It's just kind of like that's their style, you know, like that's what they do. Just like what Michelle said, and in your quote tweets, which are really good, where Michelle is like looking forward to playing Life is Strange because these are the games he likes to play. That's a different topic, but like you usually build what you like to play. I make the music that I want to listen to. Like straight up, I listen to my own music because that's the music I want to listen to. I design it in the same way. It's just like where everybody's like, oh, this seems like more like Life is Strange. And I'm like, yeah, because Michelle likes games like Life is Strange. It's like what it likes to build. It likes to play. Get off his back.
We won't talk about this one because we'll do it for StrangeCast episode. I imagine there's a lot to talk about that. And I think
look at that beard. I want a beard.
He's got. Do you know what? As well, I'll come back to it in a minute. I think he's such a humble human being, and I think like when
humble
you see
as
some of the
fuck you,
well, you haven't made Life is Strange yet. When you make something like that, we'll definitely get. You will make something like that, but don't worry. But here, I think was it this one that you were talking about specifically? We're talking about narrative games.
Yes, because those are the games I like to play. This is the genre that I prefer playing. I love playing. That's the thing. It's just like it's like Life is Strange because he likes that kind of game. Like, he
Yeah.
likes that. Like, straight up, I only make music that I want to listen to. Straight up.
And do you know what? God bless, we still have him as well. Because like, you know, like in the industry of like games that we have, like, do you know, if I didn't get like Oxenfree recommendation from you, or I didn't play Life is Strange, or I didn't play like even Lost Records or stuff like that, my God, I don't know if I'd play video games. I don't know if I'd really be interested in them, because like those are the kind of like.
Here's the thing about like anybody that says like there's no games to play. I'm like, you haven't, or like there's no games to play. There's no good movies. There's no good music anymore. I'm like, you haven't explored. You're only.
Yeah.
This is me talking to the audience. This is me talking to you generally. But you haven't built your taste. You haven't built like your search. You haven't in the same way that TikTok. Like, unfortunately for TikTok, you have to build your algorithm from like the bottom. But at the same time, you have to build your algorithm. You have to build your searches. You're saying that there's no good movies out there, but I'm just like, what genres do you like? Like, I am a sucker for sci-fi thrillers. Sucker for them. There are so many sci-fi thrillers coming out. Mostly on
Romulus.
Like Romulus, dude. Like Romulus. Or even music, dude. It's like you say, like, oh, there's no good music out. Like, do you just put on the FM radio? Like, that's it? Like, you just put on FM, you just hear your pop sensations, and then like, oh, there's no good music. Dude, did you know that Dayglow is coming out with a new album next month? Do you know who Dayglow is? You should. You should know Dayglow. Zed is coming out with a new album. So just putting that out there.
Muse.
That's what I mean, though. Just like, you have to search for your kind. So to say that like there's no good games out, but then people say like, oh, who cares about Lost Records? That's why. You say there's no good games, there's nothing good, there's nothing innovative, and then you ignore games like Lost Records. It annoys the pants off me, because I listen to the same gaming podcasts. They're like, man, games are just kind of crappy right now. And you don't pay attention to Lost Records. It drives me nuts.
To add on to your point as well, because I'm going to strengthen it here as well, like with my own take, if anything, which is that I agree with you, because I think that's reactionary responses when people put that out there, when they're like, there's nothing to play because they're just using it as a throwaway comment. That's when it's lazy criticism.
Yeah.
On top of that as well, it depends on who you are and where your age is as well, because ultimately all you're suggesting as well is where choice has been eliminated. Because, for example, even when you were a young age, you would go into like your CD stores where they were like in their tons, like hundreds of thousands across the United States. You'd put on a headset and you'd listen to someone's new music that's being dropped, a new album. You'd pick up the physical asset of the CD, you'd look at the back, you'd look at all the tracks on there, so you wouldn't just think there's one song on the album or they've just released a single. You'd also, for example, when you bought your PlayStation game, your PlayStation 2 game, and you're sitting in the car with your parents, you'd be like reading through the instruction booklet, which is no longer a thing in now video games, but you'd like read through these bulky things because you get excited and you kind of got this grip on it. If anything, it's basically comes down to the fact that you don't have a choice, because unless you actively, for example, search out the Lost Records Journal, which is what a lot of people do, and listen to it on Spotify, you're getting fed an algorithm which is saying you might like this and you should listen to it. Then your taste buds don't accommodate to it because it's not the kind of thing you wanted, and then you have a knock-on effect thinking, I don't think there's actually like loads of narrative games. And it kind of comes down to that argument where it's like, when you're suggesting things on here, like you're saying, let's go and play Oxenfree, you're going to say, oh, you should go and listen to this, and I'm like, oh, Adam, you should go and play The Council or something. You're giving recommendations based on personal experiences, not what you read from reviews or thing. It's like, it feels individual, it feels humanistic, which is what is lacking in games. So, for example, with Lost Records, since day one, since Montreal has been founded, we've been talking about it. So the excitement has always been there. It's kind of like been that thing. People have come along here and started watching and listening to it. You might have been excited for it as much as long as we have, if not even longer, back to Life is Strange 2. So it's that kind of thing where that's the problem with like, where I think with, at least with Michelle saying this, like, I love narrative games. He's like, I love playing these games. There's a space for it. He's not like, when that interview, I read it as well. It's like, he's not going to sit there and start slating Life is Strange. Or I don't think he even has anything to say about that in that sense, because ultimately he knows, for example, that Life is Strange would never have existed in the first place if, for example, Square Enix hadn't bankrolled that game. Like, this podcast wouldn't exist. My entire journalism experience in the gaming industry wouldn't exist as much. He's basically accepted that it was almost like the lesser of two evils. We need to make the game. We're going to give it to the publisher. They're going to get us off the ground. And obviously now he has a great career from that, obviously having now got his own independent thing with Lost Records. But I think it's just like, he's just speaking from a perspective, thinking that that reference of almost like, it's weird just to see it because we're not involved in it. It was our creation. We gave this character agency. We give her all these kind of things. We're not involved in it, but it's just interesting to see like that kind of perspective. It's like, we love narrative games, we love it, and you see it in, for example, Lost Records. You see heart, you see soul. As important as, like, for example, the characters, like, you know, the characters have like acne, they have like, you know, pimples, they have like different looks on them. You see Juliet talk about the artist, the appreciation they put to the textures of like characters, their outfits, everything, little bit of it. And it feels like when you walk into Velvet Cove, just from those previews, the town is alive. And that is such a hard thing to find in a game. Like, your setting is as important as the characters, and that is just the linchpin for a narrative game for me. Your setting needs to be reflective of what you're telling the story in, and it feels like with Left Velvet Cove, it feels like it's a mystery. It feels like, for example, we are walking into, and I've never even watched it, it feels like we're walking into a Twin Peaks show. We walk into that setting and it's like alive. The town is alive. It's like a Stephen King novel. The town is alive. It's got something about it. There's something that's happening here. There's mystique, there's mystery. It's been here for years. Even if it's fictional, it exists.
Exactly.
And I think that's what,
yeah. No, I just don't like people too much.
I would agree with that on that point, but I do like the people who come here and listen to the podcast. We do deeply appreciate you. Adam, we're coming towards the end. Do you have anything else about the alpha build, or anything like other inputs on there, like things you saw, environment and stuff, anything, reference points, or?
No, you know what? I'm not really a theorizer as many people like to think I am. I'm just like, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing, is all I'll say. For sure. I'm the same as well. Like, I leave the theories to other people, and like, I appreciate reading the theories, and I never like, you know, take someone else's theory for my own, but I do like seeing the excitement and the buzz, and it's reflective of that. So finally, Adam, we're going to go to the last thing, and this will become quite dated, I think, when the episode comes out, so we're not going to stick on it for too long. We're going to the video feed again. So this is from Lost Records fans on Twitter. Chris, who runs Life is Strange fans, deeply appreciate him. He's always very supportive of our content. And I gave Adam reference for this as well. I almost unfollowed. Like, don't that offense, Chris. That was not intentional. That was the mouse, if anything. So at Gamescom, and I explained this to you before, so we saw Marin before. Marin was photographed with a postcard, and there was a code for it as well. So you basically go up to the booth, they would give you a postcard. You could potentially get one which had a secret message on it. So Kathy assigned this, Kathy V, who's the producer, Luke, who's the executive producer, Michelle, who's the director, Jean-Luc, who's one of the writers in the team, have all signed this. I think Frederica signed this? I'm pretty sure. Michelle, Luke, no, Frederica didn't sign these. No, she didn't. So those people have all signed it, and on it, there's 10 of them. They spell out a message. So basically, people have got them. So far, on this tweet, on the Sunday, we've got these here. So we're missing 3. However, number 6 has been found, which completes I don't. So we know that. I've seen the tweet anyway, that someone tweeted it, so we know that. What does the message say? Because I believe, if I'm going to go here and load the other page up, Chris has said that he spells I don't want to go alone, which would make sense. But also as well, we don't know, for example, if there's anything on the end of that final card, which would be the final card at the top right is meant to be number 9. Number 9 is bottom right at the minute. I think the numbers might not have gone in the right order, but that will be number 9, I believe, like the top one in actual order. We don't know if there's anything at the top of it, but it would seem to suggest I don't want to go alone is the message, which I kind of agree with as well at this point. Because you can see as well, for example, this is like David Fincher's Zodiac when he gets the handwriting expert. If you look at if you look at the N in the first one, it's literally the exact same as the one at the end, which is that would make it an N, if anything. We don't know about E yet, but that makes sense. And then the O is the exact same bit of Zodiac work here. I don't want to go alone is the message, if anything. So I'm going to stop the screen share there. And thank you again for Chris for sorting that out as well. I love these little things, Adam. I love these little things. It feels so homey. It feels so homey. Imagine if they did this with like Life is Strange or something, with like a little brand. Like, these are the things you want. These are like, even beyond like double exposure and stuff like that. I've said this to Adam even before podcasts. I said to him about double exposure. I was like, I still think it's going to be a good game. I think people think it's hard time because the marketing, like and even we've been critical for other things. I'm just really critical, like Square, for example, because I think the marketing has been diabolical because it just feels manufactured, but this feels really homey. Like the Lost Records one, it's an indie game. It's set up like an indie style game, and it's inviting people to be like interested in it. So it's even like the postcard. It's just such a little thing that, because it doesn't have to be a mind-blowing message. It doesn't have to be like, here's Swann Holloway's access code for like her, cat DLC nothing like that. It's just I don't want to go alone as a message, and it adds that mystique of like, oh, actually,
hang on a minute. And then you start piecing things together. Is she referring to what she finds in the summit? Is she referring to that hole that we saw early in the game? All for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here for it, dude. Like I love the marketing for this. I love the mystery behind it. There's not a ton being given away. There's just good marketing on this. And I'm just ashamed that these gaming podcasts are just ignoring Lost Records. Shame on them.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think like the messages got quite through this time, at least with like some of the outlets and stuff covering it. But it's like, as you said, I think like people seem to forget even when I did it on TikTok, someone called me out saying like, I'm excited for this. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, you're excited for it, but we're talking about the mass message, because like even like you spoke to Michelle or you spoke to Luke or you spoke to Marin, they'd be like, you know, God, the reception's been good so far. But they'd never be like, oh, well, we're going to sell 3-4 million copies here. This is outstanding. You have to ground yourself in expectations, because even if this is made by the Life is Strange creators, even if it's made by this, it might just not resonate with people. Some people might not just want to play it anymore. Like Life is Strange had that whoosh of like influence and success where people like Jack Skepticai and all these other people were playing it. It got a big push off that, but it's not guaranteed for Lost Records. So it's like any little thing is great. And as you said, more podcasts need to be talking about it, because you're sleeping on this game. Like we've spoken about it for ages. It's like, I don't think we've even really said anything negative so far. I think I've spoke to you before about the animations, if anything. And I think that's just potentially maybe early access footage, if anything. Potentially, you know, they have had these kind of issues before with like Life is Strange 1 and 2, but generally speaking, it's like, I can't fault anything. I don't know what I can say that's bad about it. There's nothing bad to say about it, because it just looks good. It looks good from every standpoint so far. Can't complain.
Yeah, no, I like what I see, man. I like this, and I'm sad that we had to delay it. Yeah,
it's a like that's the annoying part, because Square Enix should really have just put Life is Strange out on the 10-year anniversary. It just annoys me, because it's like, that was perfect for you. Just put it out on the 10-year anniversary.
Exactly,
perfect. You know,
perfect.
But you've just done it but you've done it for the holiday season, because you, from my perspective at least, you're clearly trying to drive sales from it in like massive numbers because of that, and then that has a knock-on effect on Lost Records, which moves into 2025.
And they're in the cutoff point for the Game Awards.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll say I had someone on Twitter talking to me about that. It was like, it's like, you know, these they won't even be for BAFTA, for example, either. That'll go into the next year. If like Olivia Lepore got nominated for Swann Holloway, it'd be 2026 she would get nominated for. It wouldn't even be for 2025, because it's probably too short of a notice, I imagine. I think so, because I know the BAFTAs are held in like March, April time, so I don't think she would get nominated straight away from that. But you never know.
Yeah, so the Game Awards, just to specify, according to Wikipedia, games released before a specific date in November.
Yeah.
And so they're trying.
And do you know what as well? And the worst part as well, on the Game Awards that next year, like Lost Records basically is against GTA, it's against all these other games. It's in the stacked year of games coming out in 2025. It's like, it's just going to get overlooked for it. If anything, hopefully, 2025 BAFTA win, Hannah Tell, 2026 BAFTA win, Olivia Lepore, Swann Holloway.
Yes.
Hopefully. Yes. I'm all for that. Like that's it. And then also as well, Don't Know Montreal wins best game for 2026 BAFTA.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. I think he's crossed.
That. They did win for 2015 for Life is Strange, which is a big achievement. That was an unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, it was
many years ago. So fingers crossed for them. Adam, call it a wrap.
Yes, let's call it a wrap.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed our Alien Romulus conversation as well. I imagine that was like peak Spread the Arts, but when you mentioned it, I was like, oh no. I was like, he's brought up here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you are new here, as always, one more time, again, I hate saying the YouTube stuff, but it does really help us as well. Please do drop a like on the video, share with your friends, support the channel, comment as well. We love hearing your thoughts. We love hearing from people on here. We're at 1240 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. And if you can subscribe, it really does help us support our channel. And also as well, the Lost Records Journal is available on all podcast services. So we're available on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts, we're available on everything, so you can go and check us out on there. 49 followers at the time of recording, so please do follow us, help us get to 50, and please do rate us as well, because every rating does help push us in the algorithm. Adam, last episode of the month, if anything, we'll be back with StrangeCast in early September. We actually have a very special guest hopefully lined up. We're hoping to record with them in late August, so hopefully they're always a fan favorite for us, so do stay tuned for that. But obviously very exciting things to come in September, then obviously a lot more Lost Records conversations to talk about. Until then, guys, take care, see you later, bye.
Peace.